This word never really stood out to me before. Extirpate. So this is in the Bill of Rights at the start when it says basically that diverse, evil ministers, justices and counsellors did subvert the freedoms and liberties of the realm. It says extirpate, so like they're totally destroyed. Now, what the meaning of this is to destroy completely, past tense, eradicate or destroy completely. Latin strips, extirpation, outstrips. So the usage of this word has dropped, but I think this is what they actually did to all the petitions, in the House of Commons, when Parliament burned down, and it was Sir Robert Peel who even directed them to light the fire. And then apparently, supposedly it was an accident, but, witnesses, staff of Parliament thought the floor was quite hot or warm. I don't know if there was any smoke or not, but it seems the whole entire escapade seems ridiculous. But so this word extirpate, it appears in the 1688 Bill of Rights, actually in the part of undermining the laws of the realm, and it means to completely and totally and utterly destroy. So the fact that Parliament burned down and all the actual petitions themselves had all the seals and stamps of the courts on them, it's not just the fact that the petitions were all handwritten and had everyone's signatures on them and they were all like very old original documents. It's the fact that they'd also got the different seals of the courts on there and the signatures of the justices or even constables and things like that. Now, I know some of them are surviving, but not the ones to the House of Commons. So it would have been interesting to see the ones that got the 20 signatures or more, the consent, to see what like a document, I wonder if those courts would have forwarded them to Parliament, but it's not necessarily because it wouldn't have been completed. So, I mean, your petition won't be finished because obviously you're not allowed to get 20 signatures. You only got permission to get 20 signatures. So then you would have a document, possibly that you wrote yourself, which had the seal of the justice on it. And then you obviously continuing to get more signatures. So that is your almost certification of privilege because, it's officially acknowledged by the courts that it's Parliament that you're petitioning. Now, on the e-petitions website, it cannot be disputed because, it's on there, it's on the website, and if it's live and collecting signatures, it's also got Crown copyright to it. So, I can see why, Lindsay Hoyle or the clerks of the Parliament would be like, what's the point in us writing you sending you a document confirming, your petition when it's already on the Parliament website with the copyright on. It's not like in the olden days when, just a document could be written by anyone. It's actually officially on there. It's gotten, if the police go on that website, it's, it's Parliament's website, right? So it's official while it's live, So that's the difference. And obviously, people can, I could go on this phone now onto the computer and, have it on my phone and sign it or whatever. It's set, you can send it electronically. It doesn't have to be printed. Effectively, you can generate many copies. Many copies can be instantly generated. It doesn't have to be generated by a printing press or handwritten, if you see what I mean. Copied can be just electronically generated and shared quite easily without having to be posted or delivered by a person, which is a lot more convenient. But those, so that we've lost a lot of those. Well, I think we've lost all of them, there'll be one or two knocking around. There's that Edward Vawdrey petition, in 1628 or whenever it was. Edward Vawdrey's is a House of Commons one, but that was like he was wanting to get released from prison. I think there were a couple what ended up in the House of Lords archives mixed up, and I think there might be some other ones knocking around. But if everyone sent them to, not many people made a copy of a letter. If you send a letter to someone, right, not everyone made a duplicate or copy of it, right? They just, if you send a letter, it's gone. You send it, you don't have it anymore. But obviously, the good thing about those court processes was that you actually hadn't even finished doing the petition yet. If you were getting more than 20, you was getting an authorization. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's attaching the privilege to it. So it would have been interesting to see all those petitions. All we've got now are recorded notes of information from the petitions, which they started collecting from the 1800s till the 1940s, and then I think after the 1940s they started to carry on keeping the originals again, put them in the archive. So I think there'll be some from the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and 50s in the Parliament website. Some of those might have the court stamps and seals on them. Because up till 1985 that would have been interesting, but certainly all the older ones are destroyed. So that they were extirpated. It's a little bit like the Daleks, exterminate, but extirpate. It's almost similar to constipate, isn't it? But it's extirpate, exterminate. People, the usage of this word has dropped, hasn't it? Look. Notice the usage of extirpate has dropped, but people actually use exterminate instead. It's like, to exterminate is to wipe out, but it used to be extirpate. So what I think has happened is, I don't think the word extirpate is just completely and totally gone extinct. I think it's just like people preferred exterminate. I think exterminate is more easily pronounceable than extirpate. Extirpate, exterminate. Most definitely exterminate has been revived, at least through, the use of the Daleks and the Doctor Who. But anyway, so yeah. So those petitions were extirpated for sure in the fire. That's something that connects petitions and Bill of Rights to the actual Bill of Rights law and wording.